Right, welcome back, troops. So still going to be doing videos, but it's just, I don't know how many they're going to be doing, and when and what on, but we'll still be doing videos. So anyway, went and picked up the upholstery for the little marina this morning. Looks really good. I was going to do a video then, but I was like, wasn't really worth it, if you know what I mean. But we've got this windscreen leaking situation in the little marina. Front and back windows leaking. So I'll show you the seats. So here's the seats. So it's still got the original centre piece. They managed to, well, she wanted to keep the original centre, which is fine. And this is what the colour would have looked like originally, or very close to it. And this has gone really with sun. So you can understand why I don't want that carpet over there. It's way too dark. So this seat frame, it's the passenger's one. What would be driver's one in America, but it's not. This must have had somebody quite big sit in it, and the frame was actually very, they had to do quite a bit of repair in this when they stripped it down. They found it was very brittle, so they had to take it to where the upholstery guys are in Dipton, Southland here. There's an engineering mechanical workshop next door, so they gave them the seat and they beefed it all up, because it'd just been all twisted and bent and stretched and was quite weak. They said that when it was in really good solid condition, the frame, even though they looked all right, obviously apart from the upholstery all just going to shit. They said the frame of this one was absolutely buggered. But what we're going to have to do with this, we're going to have to take the glass back out of it. So I'm going to pop the glass back out, and then I went to the local glass place here and asked them what they used to, because I haven't had to do this sort of stuff for so long. I wasn't sure what products people were using nowadays. I thought I might have had to do this, but I thought hopefully I'd get away with it. But it's obviously leaking either in here or in there, or both. So what I'm going to do is get a tube of this, which is like windscreen sealant. So this doesn't cure. So it's not urethane where you'd glue the window in. It's like a soft sealant, and it stays soft. So what we'll do is we'll whip the glass and the rubber back out. We'll glue the screen into the rubber. We'll just put a bead of that round in here. We'll squash that back in, and we'll put a bead in around the inside of the rubber on where it goes into the body, and when we push it in, it'll ooze out, and it hopefully will fill the gaps. Maybe we might have to screw it a little bit down into some of these places so it doesn't track round, if you know what I mean. And we'll have to do front and back. So I'll have a quickly sort out here, get some shit out of the road. This is going to come and give me a hand. She's just doing a couple little messages first. We'll pop the glass out, and if we can get a chance to get it back in, we will. But we'll get the glass out and whatever, get everything sorted, and then we will attempt to put everything back in, whether it's today and tomorrow. And hopefully this will go away tonight, and that means there's one less thing. And then all we're going to do is wait on the carpet to come back. But at least in the meantime, if I can get that back in, get it all sealed up, if we get another couple of wet days, I can throw it back outside again until the carpet arrives, and then we can just double make sure that we don't get moisture back inside again. Yeah, because you can see where it was wet in here. I showed it in the last video, so I'm going to have to try and dry that up. And there was marginal stuff on the floor, but it was a bit wet. So yeah, and we've obviously got to give it a final clean. But I thought it was a good test the other day. It was pissing down with rain. I thought I'd leave it out for a day and a night and whatever. Just it was really crappy weather for a couple of days. So I thought, well, that's going to test it. If it's going to leak, it's going to leak when it's just that real misty, shitty fucking rain. That's when. It's not the downpours that get you. It's the freaking just soaking rain for 12 or 13 hours it gets you. You might get a little drip, you know, that you mightn't pick up, you know, in a couple of decent showers, if you know what I mean. But when you get that soaking rain for, you know, for that overnight to the 24 hours sort of stuff, you know, you might get, it mightn't be raining all the time, but you know what I mean. Like if you get a good solid 4 or 5 hours of rain, and then it eases off to just a gentle drizzle, and then it frickin' pisses down again. You know, that's the sort of weather that, you know, you'll come out in the morning and there's a big fucking puddle of water in your car. You know, so that, yeah, we need to find out and get it sealed up. So at least when it's got all the new upholstery and the carpets back in it and what's a shit, we don't have this issue. So if we can get the glass sealed this time, I probably should have done it the first time, but I thought, oh, maybe, you know, we've fixed all the issues. You know, just a couple of new rubbers and whatever. You know, sometimes you get away with it, but not always, if you know what I mean. Righty, so I've got both screens back in, but I haven't done any of the locks in them. So we'll try and get the locks in, and yeah, we'll go from there. Worst comes to worst, if I have to squirt a bit of goo down in there, I will, to stop it from leaking. It might be one of the places where it'll hold water, if you know what I mean. So if I squirt a bit of that shit down in there, it might be just enough to help hold, you know, stop the water from tracking around. But I think now with a bit of that goo just around the edge, and then obviously with a bit of rubber where it goes over the body on the actual seal itself, that hopefully should fix the problem. I'm hoping, you know, only time will tell. So we'll try and get these seals back in. Now that they've been in there once, they should be hopefully easier to get in, because I've been in there a few weeks, just sitting there, you know, waiting. And yeah, we'll just go from there. Right, morning. So today's plan is I want to get the little marina outside, and at some point we'll give that a rain test with a pressure washer or a hose or something, and make sure our windows aren't leaking. But the main thing I want to do today is have a big clean up. I want to sort all my tools out. I'm going to get, once I've had a decent sort out and I've had a good sweep up and a blow down, I'm going to get the running boards, those running boards over there, set up ready to go to weld those bits on. I also want to, at some point, get these sorted. But one of the other things I want to do is Mrs. has got that little Mitsubishi Outlander, which we're probably going to sell because she really needs to go see her brother in Australia. So I think I'm going to probably end up back up by myself for a while. For how long I don't know, but her brother is on death's door a bit like my father. My father sort of bounced back a little bit, but still pretty bedridden. But her brother has got, what do they call it? Oh, doesn't matter. It's basically all his muscles have closed down. He's had it for a couple of years now, but he's right on the verge of going. So what she wants to do is she wants to sell her car, take that money, fly to Aussie, probably with a young fella and her older boy. Our older boy, I think, is going to go. He's got some mates over there that obviously that he used to kick around with. So I think he's actually going to go live with them. And I think the missus and the young fella are going to go live with her mum and dad. And I think he's going to go, the older boy, like he's 26 or whatever he is, 25, 26 now. I think he's going to go work with his mates. I think they're working on that. And I think Mrs. will probably end up doing something over there for a while. I think she's going to stay there for a while. For how long, I don't really know, but obviously until brother passes, and then just make sure her mum and dad are okay and all that sort of bullshit. A bit like what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to carry on here by myself. I don't know when this is going to happen, but I can imagine it was probably within the next month, maybe. So there's a couple of things that really need to do to the Outlander. It's got quite badly worn sway bar bushes. We've had the bushes for a while, we just haven't got around to doing it. So you're going to take the opportunity today, once we've had a clean up. So basically I'm going to back the marina out, sort out tools, shift some shit around, because eventually over the weekends I actually want to do, and maybe at night, while the weather's still reasonably temperature, we've had a real drop in temperature, but it should be still pretty hot at the moment, but weather's gone fucking weird. But anyway, is actually get back on the studio and button up the last of the shit that's on that too. But yeah, so basically in the next, and I'm trying to find a job as well, unless I happen to come across some work. And I think I'll have some extra stuff in here at some point, which I'm just going to do at nights and weekends. So if I'm not working like Saturday or Sunday or something like that, I'll come in here and I'll do, I don't know, 8 or 10 hands. But yeah, I want to get those running boards finished so I can drop them off. I want to get the bits for those other running boards I made the other week finished and sorted, so they can be at least be when he gets a chance to test fit them. If we're going to do any alterations to them, then I can do that then. But at least get them cleaned up and buttoned up so I can drop them off so they can be used and test fitting. And then, yeah, so get them out of the road, and I shouldn't have anything else here that needs done. Like the only other things that are here is the jag doors. So at some point, I'll probably do a bit more priming on them and give them another block out and see if I can get them a little bit closer. Because I think when my dad passes, I think my brother's going to end up with the Mark II. He doesn't know that yet. So yeah, but that's kind of what's happening at the moment. But yeah, I'd like to get the wiring for the headlights at least sorted, or the headlights sorted, so we can get some bulbs in them and get them working, and just get this a bit more finished and fix a few silly things. So when we were driving this around, I know some of these brackets come loose, so I need to dig into that stuff. I was going to Loctite all this stuff, but I haven't got around to it, if you know what I mean. We never got around to just finishing some of the stuff up. I made a lot of these brackets, but I don't know how much I got finished on that shit. I really need to give this a really good clean. So not all this is going to happen today, obviously, but yeah, I want to get around this and give this a really good clean up and buff up. Get that fucking wheel back on in the meantime. See if we can get this thing fired up. Let it run for a while. Yeah, but yeah, the main thing is I want to do today is have a clean up in here, get that outside, weather test that, and then once I've finished cleaning up, we'll organise that shit to be done, and I want to change the sway bar bushes, at least on the back, because it's got a real rattle, and it's the bushes are all flogged out. So at least change the sway bar bushes on the back and have a look at the front ones and see how easy they are to do. Because the back ones are quite easy on the little Outlander. So at least then, if somebody takes it for a test drive, it's not fucking rattling and banging around. And I think it's one of those cars. We didn't pay a whole bunch for it. We got a pretty good deal on it. So we should be, I think, we should be able to get decent money for it. Like, I'm not being decent, but we only paid a couple of grand. But we should be able to get, they seem to be going for about 4 or 5. So if we can get 5 grand for it, or somewhere in that ballpark, that'll get the missus over there and gives her some cash to just to get going in the meantime, since we're a bit fucking short on funds. You know, when things settle down, like, at least that's going to take some pressure off me for the cash flow for here. She's probably going to end up getting a work over there or something to do. And if I can keep plugging away and maybe get a job, keep plugging away in here, I can get some cash built up. We'll see if we can get our fucking selves back on top again and see what happens. And then worst comes to worst, you know, then we can work out exactly what we're doing. You know, I'm kind of waiting here just really because of my father. So, but if her brother passes anytime shortly, hopefully I've got enough funds I can whip over there for a week and then come back. And stuff like that. And I've also got to try and get this other fucking dude paid back for this fucking Morris Minor. It's just a thorn on the side. So yeah, I'm working on something for that as well. But yeah, I need to get this stuff cleaned up, and then yeah, I basically want to have a good sweep in here. Start sorting out the tools, that sheet of 1 mil over there over the back. Yeah, and while we're good tidy up, Miss is going to come and give me a hand. She can just help me keep sorting stuff out. I might pull all those frickin' blankets off stuff and blow shit down and have a real fucking good sort out. And so to get back to square one again, get rid of some crap, and at least then, you know, we can sit in. Hopefully those carpets, you know, be here in another week or whatever. I don't know. Just fucking hopefully they don't take forever to get in here, because I'd like to get this little fucking thing out of the road. So I'm pretty sure that's something else I'll do today. I might, once I've got that outside and had given it a wash, make sure the glass doesn't leak. Give it another week clean, because it's getting fucking covered in dirt and dust and shit again. That's the worst thing with having something like this in here and not having a clean place to store them. It just gets dirty again, so I'm going to have to give that another good wash and yeah, get it half prepared. I need to give it a good wipe out on the inside, obviously, before we put it back together. Final stuff. I'm going to just let her know that, yeah, I'm waiting on carpets because they sent the wrong freaking colour. So I'm just doing the sway bar bushes on this little Mitsubishi. So, to show you the difference. So this is the old one, this is the new one, the older thing. But I cut the end off it because these are so, haven't got that much meat on the ends, and these are very thick. I'm struggling to get them in because it sits right on that curve. I couldn't push it far enough on the other way on the other side. But yeah, these, if you want to have one of these Outlanders, you're driving along, you can hear it rattling in the suspension, like underneath the back or underneath the front. That's what it is. Like, you can see the difference in the hole diameter. So that's what it should look like when it's new. And this is just worn out and crushed. And make sure you put the lube provided with these, because otherwise these will squeak like a bastard. But if you put a bit of this grease in there, a good smear of that on there, and then just use the original cup and put it back on. But yeah, so that's pretty much what you got to do. The other side's a bit of a prick because the exhaust in the road, so you definitely need the wheels off. Like a 2-post hoist would make life really easy. You probably wouldn't have to take the wheel off, but when you're doing it on the ground, definitely a lot easier. So we're going to do the fronts as well, but we're just going to do the backs. And then we'll take it for a drive and see what the difference is, and then maybe tomorrow, something like that, we'll do the fronts, because the partner's going to go do other stuff. So, but yeah, this will make a huge difference, because you can hear it rattling all the time. You just go around the bumps and just rattle. It almost sound like steel on steel. Kind of. The windows up so it's not noisy. Noise, but yeah, just that weird rattle. Like, it wouldn't do it on the open road all the time, but if you're just driving, sort of that, I guess you'd call it 30 miles an hour, 50 kilometres an hour, just over small bumps and bits and pieces, it will just rattle all the time. Really annoying, but we'll get this in and we'll go for a drive. No rattles yet. Rattle from the front, but nothing from the back. But I can hear anyway. You can hear all the other rattles now. The ones for the front. Take it back to the workshop. Do the fronts another day. Yes, that definitely fixed that issue. So yeah, if you do get those, I think the Super Pros or whatever, there's that flange is too thick. This is right on the edge of the sway bar where it hooks round for the like the link to the suspension arm. So yeah, I couldn't get them pushed close enough to the end of the bar to get the bolts in, so I had to just cut a hunk off. Sort of not quite that thin, but down close to being close to stock width for that bit anyway. So yeah, there's a little bit of goo left in there. So anyway, we will keep cleaning, and then we'll give that marina wash down and see if we can make that leak. But I'll just keep sorting out some tools for a bit. Alright, so just dry down the floor a little bit. I'm going to climb underneath the dash, this torch, and just poke it up in there and just see if I can see anything, any holes or anything up in that foot space up there anywhere. The other thing I'm going to look for, I might jack the car up a little bit and just have a look, see if there's any drains that run down that post somewhere that might be blocked. So it could be filling up full of water and then running back over, I don't know, like some of the cars have like air vents, so it like can suck fresh air from in that direction for the heater, and or what do you want to call it? Yeah, like the heater system, or God, I'm trying to think what the other word is for it. Havoc. Yeah, heat. here and whatever we know is up in here. Right, so I can actually see into the backs of these from up in there. There's access holes through, several of them. I can't really see up on the side, but I'm gathering from that side, this side is the same. So what I'm thinking is happening, it doesn't appear to be damp, the material up in there. Like I get my hand up in there on the side, and the material up in there, like the insulation, it's like that horsehair type sort of stuff. What this stuff, whatever it is, like none of that appears to be sopping up in there. So I think what's happening, because I can see the back sides, sort of through holes. So like on the back side of this is like a hole where the hose comes up through to it, or that one there especially. So probably up and behind here, up and behind the dash, I can probably see through to this. Where it goes back into the body. But I think what the problem is, so wherever we jack up now, wherever we poke up around this corner, I reckon there's a drain in these corners somewhere that's blocked. So when the water's falling into here, it's getting to it, and it's pooling up, and it's filling up, and then it just runs inside because it can't get out. I think that's what the issue is, and that's what I'm hoping the issue is. Don't know. I might have to get somebody down here to help me. Just run some water over the screen while I'm lying inside and see if we can work out where it's coming from. I thought it might have been that. I thought that might have run back, but there's actually it's actually got a surround. It can't go that way into the chamber, if you know what I mean. It's actually, well, I wouldn't say it's sealed, but it's reasonably sealed. Once the water gets past here, it just drains down into there. It's probably part of the heater system as well, like for the air vent. It sucks the clean air in, but yeah, I don't see where that's getting past that, if you know what I mean. So if the water's not getting past that, it's not getting into the air without getting in. Sorry, past that bung. But maybe just having that bung broken. Maybe the water's getting in past that and letting it run inside when I'm running it, which is a possibility. Because I don't see how water else would get in there except for in here, but it would actually run back out again. It's likely to run past there, it's not likely to run back in there. So yeah, I just don't think that's the problem. Because it seems to be running out there, out those vents, out the little drain flaps. So that's not my issue, I don't think. Not that I'd want to be working on this for a huge amount of time, but until I resolve it, part of the reason why I haven't sort of buttoned everything up and cleaned everything up properly. And until I know exactly why it's coming in and whether we can stop it or not. If you know what I mean? Oh, we might leave it alone and just, I don't know. If I find a wee bit more of a sort out, bugger off, and I'll go hit up some places for some work, I think. Yes, until we know a bit more. So I don't see why and where that's coming in. I don't really. I just always shine a light up here, from the floor, to see if I see any light up there. Do that. Stay here somewhere. I don't see any light shining up there anyway, so I don't see any holes. That's kind of what I was looking for, just in case it was like light poking through and it looks like it had a hole in something, but it doesn't appear to have, so that's fine. I'll poke my head down there one more time. We'll just have another, I'll sort of kind of show you what I can see from the backs of those plugs and shit. So maybe that broken bung could be the source of my problem, but there was quite a bit of water sitting down in there, so I don't know about that, if you know what I mean. Right, let's see if we can head up in here a bit better. So if we point this up in here somewhere so I can see what's going on. Here's one of those holes there it's telling me about. So that's the back side of that black bung, the one that's not broken. And then come over here. So that's that heater. Where are we? There. That black round. So you got the heater vent hoses. And then you got that other black plastic thing. That's the back of that heater piece where that water I was dumping the water in before. So I don't think it's coming through there anyway. Just daylight from the hand there. I could see a bit of light through there, but that's just coming from the hand. It's fine. That hose off there. That should go on there. Fix that. There's a little dampness down there actually. Didn't think it was actually that damp, but there is a little dampness down there. So the only thing I'm thinking of is maybe there could be water tracking down from the fucking windscreen, I don't know. But I don't see any. I really need to be in here where I'm running water over it. I really do. I think that's the way around it. Because it's damp there too, see? But why? Why is it coming down this corner? That must be where it's coming down. Get myself back out of here. Oh. Maybe it is coming around the corner of this dash, but like where and why? Like there is a gap there, but with that jamming a hyper gill in there, like it is like it's sealed from like the gaskets over top of that, so it shouldn't be running around it. I wouldn't have thought, but who would know, you know what I mean? Probably should find that this rubber should be bigger than the original. I don't even know if I've got the original anymore. I think I tariffed it at one point. I don't think I've got it here anymore. No. Don't think it's in the boot. I'll have a look. boot, trunk, whatever you want to call it. Nah. Fucking water. I have to fix that too, aren't I? I need to fix that so the water can get out of there. It's closed. Yeah, so we definitely got no leaks in the back that I know of, but I can double check that. And yeah, and maybe it is coming around the rubbers. Yeah, and possibly in through here. It could be the corners, these corners that are my issue. But maybe I can hold that up and squirt some of that shit in there. And sort of like put some tape on here and like hold this up and squirt it in there, and then sort of like mush this down in to help seal that corner up. But you think with having the goo on here, the glass, and then on the actual rubber where it sits over the body joint, it should seal it. But I don't know, strange shit happens, I guess. Righty. So I've been needing to do this for variety of ages. I just never got here. So what I want to do is start just measuring out these positions. I've got to still weld the bolts into position and whatever, but just going to measure these points of reference. Start transferring that over. Go grab a tape and transfer it over to the X. I know where to roughly need to be. Right, so we got that one done. It's kind of warm. Got that one done. So we'll mark out the other one. We'll do that as well. Probably won't put you through that torch, I'll just bring it back when we're done. And then we'll be ready to drop off to the owner. I was going to drill these holes in here, but I think I might leave them just, he can decide whether he wants to do that at some point. Strap the whole lot off to him. Or whatever. Yeah, find out where he wants to do them. I think the vehicle's actually being stored locally. So yeah. I might find out from them, I might even better drop them off there with the vehicle, you know what I mean? Just sit the running boards on in place. Maybe just whip a couple of nuts on there just so they don't fall off, and just sit the other ones, I don't know, in the back seat or something like that. I'm not 100% sure what he wants to do with it, but yeah. I'll let him know they're done anyway. If he's driving past, he might better pick them up. Actually, I need to I'll weld these corners up too. I'll weld the corners up. Yeah, we'll buzz the corners up. I haven't done that yet. I think they would have been. Well, they probably weren't done. I don't know. Do I need to do them? Probably not. Probably not. No, I won't worry about it. I won't worry about it. I was going to, but I won't worry about it. I won't worry about it. We'll just get these feet burned on there. Mark these ones out and these all put clean up. And go from there. Make sure all the nuts are loose. Didn't weld any of them on. And we'll go from there. Right, so that one's done. So I am now going to bugger off and have lunch. And then hopefully, maybe the missus might be back from doing stuff that she wants to do. And we might be able to back a little marina outside and see if I can work out where the leaks are coming from. And then once I've done that, and trying to see if we can establish that problem, we will then, I think, see if I can get this wheel back together and get it pumped up. I'm not looking forward to, but yeah, at least if we can get this back together and back on the vehicle. And then we, on my way at lunch, I might shoot to Mum and Dad's and grab the 6-volt battery charger and see if we can get this charged up. Righty, so yesterday I didn't film anything, but I got some help down here. We poured some more water on the windscreen, and I think what the issue is, I'm not 100% sure, but I think what the issue is these holes in the corner of the guard here, or corner, sort of, I wouldn't say corner, but in this corner where the bonnet, hood, whatever sits. I get a sneaking suspicion that somewhere in this corner there's meant to be a drain that runs down. And I think, I don't know for what particular reason, but I think it's meant to drain back out, or drain down through there. But I reckon it's a typical of a thing like this. And you'll probably find that the old Poms didn't put a very big drain in there. It's probably tiny. I don't know, I can't get in there, I can't see it, so, and I can't see where it comes out because you can't get the guard off and all those sorts of stupid fucking things. So I think what's happening is the water's getting into here, because what was happening was we actually poured some water on there, and we seen the water dripping down. I had the door open, and I could see the water dripping down as it was pouring it down here, after it being sort of running down here for a few seconds, but you know, the majority of it got water down there, and it was running down here, but you could see the water was flowing into this hole, and then once it started flowing into that hole backwards, well, some of it would come back out again once you'd sort of stopped pouring, but obviously there was a lot of it getting into there, and it's obviously not a very big lip for where it runs back over top. And there's probably meant to be, like I said, a drain in this corner that's blocked. So my fix for it is, because I don't want to have to tear this car into this car to cut it apart to fix something like that that I don't even know is there, you know what I mean? So I bought, I wanted to buy a box, but I couldn't find anything, not quickly anyway. So I bought two these rubber bungs. I did roughly measure it in here, and yeah, these are going to be perfect, I think. Got these two little rubber bungs in here. I don't know if they're going to work, but they might be enough to just to slow the flow. So I've just popped one in there now. It's a little loose, but I think it should be okay. And we'll pop the other one on the other side, and then we'll just get a couple of bottles of water and we'll see what happens, if you know what I mean. So yeah, in here, I actually put a little rubber grommet in there, but just to see if it would stop the flow, but it did, but it not really, if you know what I mean, not completely. So this is like a little, just like a pass-through grommet that I poked in here yesterday. Sort of the same sort of thing, if you know what I mean, but it's like a little pass-through grommet, so I thought maybe it might have been just an extra enough height to stop it, but not really. But pop this in there. So worst comes to worst, because I could have got a slightly bigger one, but I just didn't know if it was going to be too big. It probably would have been okay, to be honest. But worst comes to worst, what I can do is put a little bit of that windscreen sealant on the back of that and then just mush it in there. But if this works, we'll know we'll fix the issue. So I'll go put a bit of water in me container now. We'll go back around this other side so I can see where this comes from. And we'll pour some water down here. Let's see you out a little bit. I can open the door, I can pour it on the windscreen, and I can see whether it's going in. And see whether we get any more drips in there, if you know, or whether we just with nothing. Now, like worst comes to worst, I put a little bit of sealant in there for this store, a little bit getting in. I think that's working. I don't see any drips in there. But yesterday that was dripping in there with that amount of water in there, flowing down past this and running down here. It was running back in and dripping, so I think we got it. Obviously we still need to have a bung for here for over the year and a couple other things, but I think that has solved my issue. You know, next time it puts down with rain, I'll poke it back outside and we can just, you know, let it rain and we can confirm it a bit better and stuff like that. But yeah, I think we're heading in the right direction for sure. Yeah, right. So I think that's solved our problem. Like I said, we'll get it out in the weather at some point if we get some decent rain, and we'll just let it sit and marinate and just see whether we get any leaks. Like I'm still need that bung, and I can. That's not going to do anything. I just got to throw that back on. But yeah, we'll just let this juice up. And yeah, I need to go get that. Have the battery charger for the. I freaking keep forgetting to grab Dad's one because it does 6 and 12, where this is just a straight 12 volt. I don't think it does. Yeah, it's just straight 12 volt. Freaking. Is it 8 amps or something? Is it? Trying to read that. 8 amps or something. So it's just only just a slow trickle charger, but it just it'll bring up battery. So yeah, it's no good on 6 volts. So unless we wanted to turn a 6 volt battery into a 12 volt battery and overcharge it, but no, that's not a good thing. Yeah, so we will do that. I know it looks like they're going to work. so it's good. So yeah, I think I'll go get the charger and throw it on, and yeah, I won't do too much more in the meantime. Yeah, I was hoping to be back here early today, but I ended up helping Mum and Dad and all sorts of other crap after running into town to hunt out those frickin' little bungs. How much fuel's in this thing? So much fuel in it. Something in it. You can smell it. Alright, it's got a bit in there. Sweet. Don't have to worry about gas anyway. That's right. Gas! Whew. Stinky. At some point too, we're going to make a knob to put over the top of this. And more like, not necessarily like that, but this is like the original piece, but it's meant to have an extra piece over top of it, and we'll just put a little breather vent on it, and we'll just glue it in onto it over that. Or just machine up something nice that's a wee bit nicer to get on and off. But yeah. Alright, we will carry on. Righty, this bloody yellow thing. I was just thinking about something earlier. I haven't been down here. I was down here earlier on. Actually, fired the old studio. Just briefly. Oh, fucking lens is dirty. Just give it a quick wipe on. Bit better. It might be slightly better. It's just less hazy. You're freaking looking at a light. I'm just going to do one more water check, test check, because I get a sneaking suspicion. I was just watching a video earlier, and I think, like online, a video on YouTube, and I think what the deal is with those bloody holes is there's meant to be a tube. It's meant to be a tube that runs from here to here. It was a stupid design. It's meant like a plastic tube or something like that runs from here to here. So that's why these holes were open, and same. I think there's one behind here, so I might have to pull this fucking screen back out, which is an absolute pain. But I think, so when I looked at the videos when this was in primer, there's a that body hole still there, and I didn't even think about that. So obviously when the water's running in here, it runs into that hole and then runs back inside. So it's meant to have like a tube just to help get the water away from here, so it doesn't sit down in here and rot. It was a thing that they tried to stop them from rotting out. Because this is a when I was watching a video of this guy in the UK, I don't know how old the video was, like a couple of years old sort of type thing, mightn't be even that long. You see, these were the Mark II version. So obviously the first version never had a hole in there, and then they put a hole through here to let the water run through to run down here. So that's why that's there. Yeah, and it's like I don't know whether it's what sort of tube it is, but like it's obviously some sort of plastic tube that run down through here, and it must have just poked out here a little bit and then like clipped into here or something like that. Not 100% sure, if you know what I mean. Or it might have had like a little rubber hose and had like two ends in it, and basically what happened was they just dry rotted off. And they fell in there and then the water ran inside. So yeah, that doesn't help me. So yeah, you said what most people do is just plug them up. Basically what I've done here. So I might just test that, but I think I need to pull the glass back out, which is a pain. But yeah, what I can do is just I probably could go buy another couple of these and put in. The other thing I've been thinking of is the owner of the studio was just talking to me earlier on, and he says maybe we could buy something, because he said I can financially put through it for a bit, but like obviously can't go spend $1 million on something. But so we can find something maybe that I can build. He can pay me a wage for a wee while, and then and flick it off and sell it, you know, until such point as maybe get a bit extra work in here, or just get that, and then obviously maybe something else can come in and you can chop and change between the two like different vehicles. So I've been trying to look on Facebook Marketplace for something that is still got live registration, but there's not a lot. There's a few cars that would be worth building, but have got dead rego. So it makes it a little bit more awkward. That's right, just thought I could smell gas there. I thought maybe that, what do you want to call it? I thought maybe the tank was leaking. But the vacuum tank, but doesn't seem to be. But yes, like there's a couple of cars there with dead rego that would be worth building, but they would be more if you'd done 2 or 3 and had a wee bit of capital behind you. Because dead rego cars here in New Zealand have got to go through quite a heavy safety check. So they will check a lot of things that really need picked on. But we could get something that was a bit of a project but still had live rego, then you can go through and build it, repair it, paint it, whatever, and doesn't matter quite so much if it's still got to go through a safety check, but it's just the standard safety check that every other car goes through. So as long as it's up to reasonable snuff, it's not going to be an issue. But with the other check, when their cars are being complied to go back through vinning to go back on the road, it's a lot more in depth. They will pull body panels, like inner trims off and stuff like that, and put cameras in places that they just don't normally do with the basic safety check, if you know what I mean. Like they obviously check make sure there's no rust and rot, and have a decent look around, make sure it doesn't look like anything bodgy repairs. But as long as everything looks sound and solid, even if it has been painted or something like that, they're not worried about that, you know, as long as it looks like a decent car. You know, like cars get painted all the time, but yeah, but when they go back through a vinning, if a car's been painted, then they really will inspect things. They'll poke cameras in all the like body holes and whatever they can get into to check shit to make sure that it hasn't been poorly repaired or bodgily joined up or anything like that, to get something that might be worth something back on the road but being poorly repaired. They're trying to stop that, like just the real badly repaired old vehicles that are worth a lot of money being put back on the road poorly. If a car's been rebuilt properly and been stripped down extensively and panels been put on properly and welded on properly and all that sort of shit, they don't have a problem with that. But it's still a big inspection. But yeah, if something's still live rego, so all you got to do is just go in for pay for registration and then just put it through its average, normally yearly safety check like we do over here. Doesn't matter then, you know, it could have been off the road 10 years and fix the major problems, you know, throw a few suspension parts at it, give it a coat of paint, you know, fix the rust in it, give it a coat of paint, throw it back on the road, and as long as, you know, the lights work, the brakes work, and all those other normal safety things that work fine, you know, handbrake, emergency brake works fine, you know, the steering's not sloppy and worn out and the tyres aren't bald, and, you know, wheel bearings aren't rumbly and noisy and all those sorts of things, you know, and all those major things that work properly, it just flick through and away you go, you know what I mean? But yeah, and as long as it's obviously hasn't had they get a little bit funny with, like, say if it was originally a 6-cylinder and it's now got a big block in it, you can't do that here. It's got to be engineered and stuff like that. Like there's checks for that. But if it was originally a V8 car and it's still got a V8 in it and whatever, well, that's fine, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to have the exact engine in it, but as long as it's got, you know, equivalent of what it had in it, and it doesn't look like it's heavily modified, you know, all of a sudden turns out with 2 turbos. It was just originally an old, you know, a wheezy old frickin', I don't know, say like 305 frickin' Chev in it, and next thing it's got a 350 stroke with twin turbos on it or something stupid like that, or whatever, you know, like, yeah, like they get a bit angry at that, you know, but yeah, as long as if it's pretty much like, you know, from what it was from factory and all that sort of shit, well, yeah, they don't care then, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's a possibility just to keep me going if I can't find any other work or whatever in the meantime, you know, and obviously there will be things that'll dribble through, but eventually, but just to carry on. So we might have a decent look at this, another look at this around this fucking windscreen, not as much as I don't want to take the bastard out again. I think I need to, and plug up those holes, and apparently that's a common thing they do, is just plug up those holes. And then, so basically the plugs I got for the front, I should have got 4, and put a bit of goo in them, bang them in those holes, and then get another 2 and put a bit of goo in them and bang them in those holes, unless the water can't get in either way then. Biggest problem is the water will sit in around that rubber and will eventually rot it out, but that is the nature of the beast of that car. It's just one of those things, but yeah, there's not much else you can do about it, if you know what I mean. And I don't know whether those things were available either. I haven't looked into that. I did have a quick wee poke, but nothing popped up, you know, and slapped me in the face and said, yeah, no, we're available, sort of type thing. So we might just pop that screen out again. It shouldn't be too much of an issue to get it out. It's been out twice now. So yeah, and it wasn't too difficult to get out last time, as long as that glue that shit isn't gummed up too much. Should better get it out, at least we'll have a look, and plug those holes. Yep, I was dead right. That's the issue. So between combination between them and them, yeah. So I really need to go to town and get another couple of fucking bungs. Pain in the ass, I just was in there this morning. Getting a new freaking jug or kettle. That freaking kettle started pissing water all over the bench this morning, which was really handy. Yeah, so I really need to go get some more of those, or so I might shoot to the local hardware store and just see if they have something, some grommets or something, I don't know, to where they shot, and see if I can get something. Yeah, I wish I'd known that, because while I had that cleaned up, I probably could have got some fucking brake line, or not brake line, fuel line tube. Just store it over here. So this copper nickel, I probably could have flared that and flared it, and I probably could have soldered it in or welded it in the ends and poked it through, and like done the same one here, like I would have put a tube in there. You probably could have done that, eh? Like you probably could have run it from there to there, flared it out, and then just tagged it around there, and then well, not so much tagged it, but you probably could even clean it up and like easy float it with solder, and done the same there, so the water will just pass through. But yeah, that's what I think we'll do. We'll go get some grommets. That's what I need to do. Alrighty, so this is what I was trying to find the other day, and I should have went to the local freaking hardware store and just bought these. These actually fit better than those other bloody things do. I'll leave them there, they're fine. Actually, no, I might pop them out and stick these in. These actually fit better So it's cool. So I've got them. So we can basically put the screen back in now, but I'll pop those ones out and I'll put these same ones in here because these here aren't going to need anything around them to seal them up. Like they may do, but I don't think it'd be an issue. They're in there pretty snug. So, well, those are a little bit loose, but that I think will work perfect for what I need. I don't know. Maybe one of those might fit in there. Probably not. It's a stupid freaking size hole. I wish I never pulled that out of there originally. It's going to be too small, isn't it? Yeah. No, that needs to be too big. Yeah. Hopefully I got the original one of this, like a original aftermarket one of these coming. I'm hoping. It's meant to come with the carpets. But yeah. Anyway, I only pulled it out to paint it. But it's alright. So yeah, I'll lift this up, we'll change them, and then I'll have to get the missus to come and give me a hand to put this back in again. But yeah, I think that'll solve our problem after that. We won't have any water in here, which will be bloody handy. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Actually, I need to have a look at it underneath here and see if that other one of these is sitting down in there. This is a windscreen squirter. It seems to have dropped down. I don't know if it's there or not, if you know what I mean. Might have a lousy for that too, actually, while I'm here thinking about it. So yeah, I actually fired this up before. I actually need to look for, I don't know what I do with it. We had made a spare belt for this old girl. So if you go back through the videos, I don't know even where it is now. I thought I actually had it hanging up there. It'll be around. Around here somewhere. There was a spare fan belt made for this thing. And I just don't know where it is. Because the one that we had made, we had two made at the same time, and it broke when we put on it. So yeah, but I fired this up earlier. Had the battery on. Tickle up, if you know what I mean. Oh, fucking girl runs good. She fires up so good. Like, it hadn't run. And that's pretty much how it started this morning. Like, it took a little bit more than that to get going, but couldn't believe it. It's like, holy shit, you freaking old faithful bitch. Like, it hasn't been running for I don't know how long. But yeah, I need to find that belt to slip on for the fan. Like, it doesn't run the water pump or anything, but yeah, it broke. So the one that we had glued together, that we had like a belting company made it. But yeah, like, it's pretty unusual that it fell to bits, but it did. Whether it was running the wrong way or not, well, I don't know. Yeah, we might have to get them to make another one when I find the other one. But yeah, the old girl runs good. Couldn't believe it. I was still going to get that wheel back together, but I just thought I'd fire it up, so put that battery on charge just to give it a really good juice up. But yeah. That bloody belt there, it was hanging up there. Yeah, where that is, you can see the bits hanging down below there. I don't know whether the guts of it's still there or not, but I can see it hanging down. I just don't know whether I can, maybe if I can just grab it with this and maybe just give it a wee push up. I don't know. I think it's meant to have like a little ball squirter sort of type thing in there. Water coming out of it. It's obviously just got no thing. So it's lost its. Probably not much I can do about it. Worry about it. Yeah. So it's lost its little squirty here. So that would, if you're driving along, it would allow water to run up the windscreen. Not like you. Yeah, I don't know what she's going to do with that. I don't know if they're available or not. Might worry about it, don't they? Righty. Here's an interesting thing I just looked at. So it was an 89 Ford Falcon, but it had been stretched, so it technically wasn't classed as a limo, but because it was just said 89 Ford Falcon on the registration tag. And the guy wants to tidy it up, obviously, but he's bought one of those projects where he hasn't got really to get it out of the weather, which is really unfortunate. I think he was hoping that I had like plenty of room to store stuff and work on it, which ideally that probably would have been quite good, but yeah, I just don't have the room for too many cars, especially something like that size, which is really unfortunate. If I had I don't know, somewhere where I could probably sort of like 10 or 15 cars, and you probably would be alright in the corner and just keep picking away at it, which I think that's what he wanted me to do, which would have been fine, but yeah, it needed some work. It really needed. It's got like a fucking glass roof in it, like panel that's been put in it. It really needs taken out. And it's got a sunroof, actual sunroof right over the back seat. That really needs taken out. I would just get rid of them, to be honest. And then it just needs a pile of bodywork. It's one of those things, I wouldn't say it's too far gone, but on a very limited budget with little to no experience and not having anywhere to put it, to get all the paint off it, especially in the bad areas. Yeah, it's a fucking big project. Oh, it's quite cool, but yeah, it's a big freaking chunk of car. Like, it's been stretched, I'm guessing 3 to 3.5 feet longer. So yeah, I don't know, it's quite a big car. I don't know how long it would be, but I'd have to work it out, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's at least 3 to 3.5 feet longer than stock. But yeah, it's far out there. They've been put together pretty badly. It's amazing. Like, it's funny, like, you see a lot of those limos and you think they look really cool, but when you see just, like the roof goes along and then it slowly goes down and then it slowly goes up again. It's like got almost a sag in it, and you can see it in the sills too. It could have been just age. It's slowly sagged in the centre where it's been extended, or it could have been just like that all the way from new, if you know what I mean. Since it was obviously stretched new. Why they used the base model GL Falcon, I do not know. Like why they didn't get a M1 and stretch it, I don't fucking know. At least they would have the nice interior, but it's just got the plain Jane sort of interior, which kind of makes it suck. But I guess, if you were doing it up, you could make it nicer inside, just have a cool car, something different. But yeah, I kind of feel sorry for the guy, to be honest, because it's, especially not having anywhere to put it. If it was just a stock standard length car, it wouldn't be too much of an issue. It wouldn't be too hard to find somewhere to put it. But considering the thing's extra frickin' like 3.5, we'll say round figures 4 foot longer, it becomes a big fucking car to store and manoeuvre too. Yeah, it would be a real pain in the ass to work on in the shop. It'd be alright if you could get it. You could do the whole fucking thing in one hit. It's one of those jobs you either need a lot of room and pick away at it, or I don't know. It's, to me, if there's no major rust in it, like there is in places, but it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's going to be bad enough to be really broken out. There's a few spots where it needs probably some metal cut out of it, but a lot of it's just poor application of body filler, and I think just that's been so big it's flexed, and body filler's broken out of it, and then the water's got underneath it, and the weather's got to it, and shit like that. Yeah, big fucking project, especially if you got to do it yourself. Like if you had to hit some basic skills, you would tackle it, but yeah, I would take the whole I'd take all the glass out of the roof because it was just a pain in the ass. I'd just curve up the panel and replace, I don't know, the bulk of the centre of the roof, to be honest, and make up some braces go across it. Bend up some sort of, bracing to go across and stiffen it up. Take some of the flex out of the roof anyway. Yeah, freak, what a big job. Big job. Big thing to tackle. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately it's not going to be one of those things I can just throw in the corner and pick a weight on. It was kind of, I would say, I would say a waste of time coming to have a look at it, to be honest. It was sort of it was like, fuck, you wanted me to store it and just pick away at it. It's like, fuck, I don't have the space for that, dude. Like if you had $5,000 and then another $5,000 here and another $5,000 there to pick away at it, like that would be alright, but fuck. Yes. I can't just do fucking, a couple $100 worth of work one week and a couple $100 worth of work next week. Well, it's like, 2 or 3 hours of work and then leave it again, if you know what I mean. Basically, you get some paint stripped off it, it'll take you fucking 2 months to get the paint off the fucking thing. At a couple $100 a week, sort of type bullshit, plus a bit of storage. Yeah, I don't know. Needs a big shed. Well, he's got one, but it's not it's not really big enough. Don't know. That was a pain, but you know, I wish that I knew a wee bit more before I went and had a look. But yeah, I thought by the way he was talking, you know, that he had a little bit of money to throw at it, if you know what I mean, to give me something to do. But yeah, I can't afford to fucking store the thing for fucking 12 months, if you know what I mean, just pick away at it. Unfortunately, no, I don't have the room to do that. As I said, yeah, I said to him, if I had, you know, enough room to store fucking all the work on, you know, 10 or 12 cars, yeah, I probably would have, but nope, unfortunately. Yeah, I said I got enough room for about four, maybe 5 cars, if you considered a couple of spots, but nope. Unfortunately, I'm desperate for work, but I'm, you know, it's more of a hindrance than a help. Damn it. Anyway,